Hello and welcome to another episode of Voss Cooking. In today's video, I'm going to be making a jiggly, creamy, delicious flan. This is one of my favorite desserts to make, and it is very simple to make. All you need to make it are these 5 simple ingredients you see before you right here. You need your cream cheese, and in fact, the cream cheese is actually optional. Most flan recipes you'll find probably don't include this, but I have found that adding some good cream cheese to the flan, about a whole container of it like this, what is this, 8 ounces of cream cheese to the flan, definitely makes it a whole lot creamier, so I'm going to be including it. And right now I just have it popped in the oven at 170 degrees to get it nice and jiggly since it was in the fridge. Or you could just leave it out of the fridge for like a couple of hours. Next, we've got our evaporated milk. So this is definitely a requirement for making your flan. And I've also got some sugar. So this is just regular white sugar that's going to be used for making the flan syrup. With this, you could probably experiment a little bit. I've made flan with sugar in the raw before, and it's definitely different. You know, it's more of a, I guess, kind of an earthy taste to the syrup. Some people like it, some people don't. But regular white sugar, that's the more standard thing used to make the flan syrup. Next, we've got the star of the show, which is La Lechera. So this is sweetened condensed milk. But I really do recommend actually going with La Lechera brand because, I mean, just look at that gal there. She looks like she knows a thing or two about making a flan. So why would you not trust her to be the star of your flan? So this is like the, you know, I guess new fancy one that is like in a little squeeze bottle. So yeah, we'll see what that's all about. I'm used to getting it in the can, but this is what they had at the store today. And then some vanilla extract. So let's get started with melting our sugar to make the syrup. I'm gonna be melting probably about maybe 1/3 of a cup, like just a little bit more than 1/4 of a cup, because this is the pan that I'm gonna be putting it in the bottom of, so really just need to cover that. I don't like to go crazy with the syrup on my flan. And this is the pan that I will be melting it in. This is a copper ceramic pan. I definitely recommend using one that's got a really smooth, like this one's a ceramic surface and it's not too scratched up. I wouldn't really recommend doing the melting of the syrup in cast iron because it's probably going to stick a whole lot. So anyway, let's get started with melting that syrup. So what we're going to do, there's no oil, nothing like that in this pan. Just heat. We're going to measure out our sugar. I might not even have 1/3 of a cup in here. Let's see, it's a little tricky to measure out while I'm filming. Oh, actually I had more than I thought, okay. So I'm gonna do just under 1/3 of a cup. So like I said, I don't like to go crazy with my sugar. You could probably do, I don't know, maybe up to 1/2 a cup with the amount of flan this is gonna make, like the amount of, the size of the pan and like the amount of custard and everything we're gonna have, but I think this is good. So what we're gonna do is while this is heating up, we're gonna push it around with this spatula. And here, let me actually adjust this camera. All right, I actually, this is the rest of the sugar that was left in, so actually I'm gonna go ahead and use all of it. So it's basically like 1/3 of a cup. So you just want to push this around. You don't have to do it constantly, but as it starts melting, you'll have to push it around more so that it doesn't burn. And you basically just want to make sure that you agitate it every now and again when it's at this stage. Don't let it sit for too long because then it will burn. but just kind of push it along, and eventually you'll start to notice that it'll clump a little bit. We can actually put the temperature up just a little bit higher, just to get it to start melting, and then I'll drop it. This is a copper pan, so it's very sensitive to temperature changes. Obviously, take different actions depending on your cooking setup if you're using something that's like stainless steel, or if you're using an electric stove instead of gas. See, I'm not really getting any clumping yet. Oh, I'm starting to feel a little bit of resistance. Okay, yep. So we're starting to clump right here. And that's where we want to make sure we're not too hot. Because once it starts to melt, you'll see. The rest of it's going to melt pretty quickly. And another thing to be careful of too is try not to push too hard when it starts sticking, because you don't want to, sometimes the little clumps of sugar can fling out of your pan, so just want to be gentle enough to just move it so it doesn't burn. Yeah, so you can start seeing, see if I can pick one up. These little clumps like that of sugar starting to form. So that's basically when a little bit of syrup kind of just starts getting all the sugar sticking to it like a ball, but eventually they're not going to be able to do that anymore, and it's all just going to turn into kind of a brownish syrup. I'm going to flatten it out a bit more so that it all heats up. Alright, I can see some melting going on. Oh yeah, right in here we got a little bit of melting. Probably won't show up on camera because the syrup is clear at first. Oh yeah, we got a nice thin layer of syrup that formed. You can see those chunks are becoming larger, more numerous. We've got a big one right here. Oh yeah, we're turning into syrup quickly now. Yeah, so see now there's almost no like powdered sugar. It's all these clumps. And now the clumps are starting to melt. Alright, so this is the point where we really want to keep that syrup moving. And also try to kind of keep it all together. In fact, I should actually move it to this side of the pan so I can pour it out. Syrup go over here so I can mop up this bit of sugar. Alright, we're almost all melted. You can see it's kind of a caramel color now. And to smash up these last little bits, just kind of press on it like this. It'll break up and melt into the rest of the syrup. Alright, now we can pour our syrup off. Alright, while we wait for the syrup to even out, let's go ahead and make the custard. So, first thing I'm going to do is crack the eggs. I think I actually forgot to mention at the beginning of the video that you do need eggs to make flan, but I mean, come on, everybody's got eggs, right? So, we're going to crack 3 of these bad boys into our bowl. Let's pick that one little piece of shell out. Alright, I'm going to blend these eggs together really quick. Next, we want to start shaking this well. As the can says, that's our evaporated milk. Then we're going to open her up with a can opener and pour her in. And at this point, I'm also going to go ahead and put in the cream cheese. So this is just how I kind of baked it in the oven. Sort of around the edges, some of those little pieces got brown, but the cream cheese itself is fine. It's just really nice and soft now. And it only takes like 10 minutes to do that when you put it in the oven at 170. All right, we'll kind of blend this together. And it mixes fairly easily. All right, and now let's start putting our Litecoin in. And let's see, this is 12 ounces. I think I should pretty much just use the whole thing. Yeah. So I'm not even going to bother putting the top back on, just squeeze her on in. Yeah, you know, I think that the can might be a little bit more convenient, because getting the rest of the Litecoin out that's like inside of this is going to be kind of difficult. Yeah, there's more in there. Let's see. What am I gonna do to get this out? Oh, actually, I know what I can do. I'm gonna use some of this heavy whipping cream. Should probably shake this up a little bit. Just gonna pour it in here. Yeah, let's start with that much. All right, let me see. Hopefully this is not going to go everywhere. Let's see, I don't know how watertight this is. Okay, I think it's all right. All right, let's see if that gets the Litecoin out. Still a little bit in there. All right, so we'll do a second wash. Might as well just use the rest of this. Hopefully this doesn't make it too thin. I mean, it's probably not going to be quite as thick as if I just use the cream cheese without all this extra heavy cream, but yeah, we'll see. All right, now the sugar sounds like it's starting to crust up. It's also starting to crack a little bit. So we'll just go ahead and actually just stir this all together. Oh man, do you guys hear all those cracks? Oh, you know what? I just realized I didn't actually put my vanilla extract in. No worries. We can still add it now when it's in custard mode like this. And just get a little spoon. Just stir it up. All right, there we go. And now we can cover it with foil. I'm going to try and make it kind of flat at the top so it doesn't like leave an indent in the flan. I mean, it's not going to change the taste. It's just going to make it look a little bit ugly. I think this is good though. And the last thing I recommend for your flan's aesthetics is to put it inside of a water bath when you put it in the oven, and that's going to help prevent the flan from cracking. So now I'm going to put this in the oven for about 1 hour at 300. Alright guys, I have my flan here that I have left sitting in the fridge overnight. I recommend leaving it in the fridge for at least 5.5 to 6 hours. You know, take it out of the oven, let it sit for an hour, and put it in the fridge for at least 5 hours before you're going to take it out of the mold and try to eat it. So let's go ahead and take this foil off and see how it looks. I have not peeked under the foil yet. Ooh, look at that. That is looking really good. So I'm going to go ahead and free this flan, and what I'm also probably going to do, because it is really, really cold, I literally just took it out of the fridge, I think I'm going to heat the bottom a little bit. Because sometimes the sugar, let me see, maybe I don't have to, maybe it is syrupy. It doesn't sound solid. In the past, I've had the sugar kind of freeze up on me on the bottom before, so that's why I've always heated it a little bit since then. I think I'll do that. I'll just throw it kind of on the stovetop like this, move it back and forth a little bit for like 30 seconds, cut around the edges, and flip it. Just going to cut along the side. Let's see, I'm not feeling any sugar resistance, so yeah, I think it is indeed melted. All right, place your bets now. Will the flan be jiggly? Actually, we can already see that it is jiggly. Jiggle confirmed. Let's go ahead and flip her over. Ooh, there we go. That actually came out really smooth. All of our syrup came out. We didn't really get too much of it stuck to the bottom. I guess this area here was not heated quite as much. But still, look at what we got there. Oh, and she is jiggly, boys. Look at that jiggle. Oh, that is what we like to see. All right, let's dig in. Wow, hopefully you guys can see this, but it is so shiny on the top, it's like a mirror. You can literally see the little rig that I have my camera set up in. Wow. That is how you know it's a perfect flan. It's almost too perfect to eat, but I gotta try it. Oh man, look at that. It's the perfect consistency. Oh, this is the flan. This is the flan right here. I'm sorry, but you know, your abuela has nothing on my flan, okay? It's literally the best. But you know, that's the beauty of fast cooking. Your abuela is free to use this recipe however she wants. Anybody's free to use it however they want. Oh my goodness. I'm not even exaggerating. Like, this is the best one I've made. I'm glad that I got it this perfect for this fast cooking video. Because I've made a few flans in my life. I think this is like maybe my 4th one or 5th one ever. And this one is perfecto. Es perfecto y libre. Very important. Well, you guys should try this open source recipe out for yourselves, and I'm gonna go eat some more of this. Peace.